everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of 31 Days of Indie Horror. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with the lovely Sarah Adkins, who was
Hello.
on on the show last year. Forgot which one. What did we do? Do you remember?
We did that one about the national park, I believe. I can't remember what it was called, where it had that monster in it. Wasn't that the one that we did? It was like about the park ranger and this and this monster that was in the park. And
Let
she
me
had like
see.
a talking bird.
Oh, did we? No. We did that for Indie Film Cafe, didn't we?
Podcast.
That was for the podcast.
We have a lot of podcasts.
I know. I'm trying to think. So I remember having you on here.
Did I do an indie one with you?
Yes, you did. You did. I remembered. I was just trying to remember which one. Let's see. You did, I thought. I'm looking at it now and it's looking like you might not have.
I don't think I did. I think the one that I'm remembering is the first one that I did with you.
No, we did one. We did.
No, maybe we did one right before I moved.
Oh, we did the one that you probably wanted to forget. I'm sorry. I'm apparently giving you really boring ones because you couldn't even remember this one. But this was 30 miles to nowhere. Remember that one? The one that people are stuck in the cabin and shit and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. No, I do remember it now. It's been a long. I've had a lot of movies been watched since then, so I do remember that one now. Okay, where they all kind of like signed the guest book. That was like the waiver to read.
Yes, they didn't really. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
All right. Well, go see 30 Miles to Nowhere if you haven't seen it yet. I think it's still on Tubi.
It probably. I've been watching a lot of Tubi recently. I've been actually like really enjoying it.
Well, I mean, especially since we got that horror film lovers show that we do, which is taking the hiatus until next year. But because we have that, we've been probably watching a lot more,
yeah, I've been silly. I've been using it to watch nothing but Gordon Ramsay and Girls Next Door. So
that's not silly.
It's a time jump. I want to jump back to 10, 20 years ago. So I'm watching reality shows from back then.
Dude, I was watching Jersey Shore a while ago, so I get it.
I want to go back in time. Let's go back to the Girls Next Door
when things were just a lot Playmates. When things were a lot more simple, right?
Right.
Like those were the times, now to do a reality show, you have to like do something completely crazy and new that nobody's ever done before.
It's different too though, because like I remember I watched it back then when I was younger and I wanted to be a playmate so bad because of that show, and I auditioned and everything, but I watched I auditioned like 11 years ago. But I was too old at the time. I was like 23. And
wait, you were too old at 23?
Oh yeah, no, they cap it pretty early. Like you need to get in there when you're like barely turning 18, and then by like 25, like you're done. But I watch it now though, and I'm like, I actually listening to some of the things they're saying, and I was like, they're scared to eat anything because they won't fit into their clothes and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this isn't as fun sounding as I thought it was. This is kind of sad, especially when you know where they all are now. You know.
But we're here to talk about
and scream at people.
Okay. So we're here to talk about a little movie called Ghosts of Goldfield. Which is a real place. I think we talked about that, like I told you.
Yeah, because so I know nothing about the haunted place and stuff like that. So you were filling me in earlier. So yeah, please fill me in some more. You said that this is a real place that has had real hauntings.
Well, at the time that they shot this film, I believe it was abandoned. But I think they did ask the owners of the place if they could go and shoot there or whatever, and and
so this was shot in the actual location.
Yes.
Awesome.
This was shot in the real, like that hotel that you see. If you look it up, that is the Goldfield Hotel.
That's a cool little spin on it. If you're going to do a movie about a haunted place, it's kind of cool that you could actually use that as your set.
Like you use the real place. Yeah. Some people make movies and then they don't use the real place or whatever, or maybe they just filmed the outside but don't use the inside. I'm pretty sure they were allowed to shoot there, and it would be nice to I don't know. I would love to hear sort of a commentary track or something
Or
where
behind the scenes,
or
something.
behind the scenes where like the actors got to like, they got to witness anything crazy
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Because
that would be interesting.
yeah, that would be more interesting than the movie,
Right.
unfortunately. The movie itself, I feel like suffers from trying to tell too much of a backstory without kind of giving us some substance of the actual regular characters. And
Yeah.
and that was my biggest problem with it, you know.
Because I was kind of thrown around a little bit, got a little bit of whiplash trying to go back from the flashback scenes to the current scenes of who was descendant related from who was having an affair with whose baby was whose, and who was murdered, and it was like I eventually I put everything together, obviously, but it was a little whiplashy a little bit, but
Exactly. I'm trying to look it up right now and get all the information. So here's
I
the
was happy to see Roddy Piper in there or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah. I was
he
like,
was
okay,
awesome.
cool, we got a wrestler in here.
We'll talk about it soon, but talk about him soon. But a group of 5, led by Julie, set up their filming equipment in the hotel of a derelict town of Goldfield, hoping to capture footage of and I was so glad that it was not a found footage film.
Yeah.
In the beginning started off kind of looking that way, and I was like, oh God, please don't do this to me, because that's like one of my least. That's like a pet peeve of mine, is that like indie films tend to go the found footage route because it's just cheaper, and some people can pull it off, like Paranormal Activity or Blair Witch, but most cannot. And it just, or Cloverfield, I think, was a found footage, if I'm correct, the original Cloverfield. But like, it shouldn't, they shouldn't do that, But anyway, hoping to capture the footage of the ghost of Elizabeth Walker, a maid tortured and killed in room 109. Troubled by visions, Julie discovers that a necklace handed down to her from her grandmother is somehow connected to this tragedy. So she's now like, okay. So that was another thing I didn't like really, because like all of a sudden out of nowhere, it's like, oh, my family is connected to this.
I was kind of wondering myself, because like I don't remember that being brought up until like just this random moment, because like they showed the locket and the necklace and the flashbacks, and then all of a sudden she's wearing it. Oh, and it was my grandmother's. I'm like, wait, where did this come from?
Yeah. So apparently her grandmother is a part of this family or whatever, and like,
or did she know that before going there?
I don't think so. I think that was the whole idea, is that she finds this out, but
right, because that would be too big of a coincidence. So like I would think she knew that was her grandmother's, and that was the whole reason why she wanted to go there and investigate.
Remember, she wanted to go there because of her thesis project.
Yeah, which I'm assuming she picked because of the relationship between her ancestors.
But she never tells them that.
Really tell you, so you're just assuming. Like I would think that would be why, is because she knew the connection. Because what would be the odds that that's what you pick and that's where you end up, and you're wearing the necklace? It's one in a million.
But I'm just saying, I think that's what it became. I think that was it, because I think if this were the thing, she would have said something earlier to everybody and let them know that, like, this is a very important, project to me. Like, this means a lot, What? Can you hear
It was
me?
just confusing because I couldn't tell if it was something that just came out of nowhere, or if it was a premeditative thought.
I think it just came out of nowhere, honestly. But I don't know. We never get that information. So,
but it doesn't make as much sense in your head when you think about it that way.
Right. By the way, people, just know my editing stuff is having problems. My Zoom's having issues. So if there is stuff that happens, or connection problems, just bear with us. It happens a lot through Zoom, sadly. Right, Sarah?
Yeah, it may cut out a little bit.
Yeah, I hope not. We seem to be doing good right now. Knock on wood. I think that's wood. I think my disc is made of wood. What if you knock on something else that's not wood?
Particle board. Do you get 30 years of bad luck?
Do you get bad luck if you don't tell me that? I don't know. I'm all worried.
I'm just guessing.
Oh no, this got to be wood. Yeah. Okay. You know, let's hope not. Let's hope not. There's not bad luck. I really don't like juju. I don't like any kind of
Yeah.
like stuff like that. So anyway, bad juju, of course. So that was the story about it. So there's just some kind of connection with this stuff. This was directed by a director named Ed Winfield, who I don't think he's directed anything else. He's written something else. He's produced something else, but I don't think he's directed one other thing, but it was like a behind the scenes of Oakland Raiderettes swimsuit calendar.
Okay.
All right. You know, that's nice, I guess. The writer of it, Dominic Biondi and Brian McMahon are the writers. Brian wrote one other movie called The Wait List. And he directed The Wait List. So this is a project he didn't direct, but he wrote but he co-wrote. So let's see. So basically, and it stars. So are you a Twilight fan at all? Do you like Twilight?
I think I attempted to watch the first one once, and that was about it.
Well, Kellen Lutz, the main star of it, who plays Chad, well, main guy star, which was he? I don't know, because like he's in it, but he's such a dispensable character, you know, like he has no connection other than he's friends with the people. Like there's no romantic interest. He's just there, you know, helping out or whatever. So I didn't find him to be like the main character, but he sort of was, you know. But yeah, he played Chad, who was like not the boyfriend and not the other guy that had the girlfriend.
Is that not the one that she ended up with in the end?
Did she end up with him?
Well, I mean, it was this whole thing of we've always kind of crushed on each other, and now that your boyfriend cheated on you and he's dead, I'm gonna kiss you now, and ha ha ha. You know, that's what it kind of was like in the end.
Yeah,
that's the guy you're talking about. All the other guys died.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Because I was like, oh, you love your boyfriend so much. You're mourning his death so bad. You're making out on the stairs with your friend. And like, oh, I guess we're together now.
Yeah. Like, well, that happened.
Yeah.
Whatever. So yeah, I guess that was the main guy, you know, and the main girl was played by Marnette Patterson, I want to say. Yeah, Patterson, who I grew up watching. She was in Camp Nowhere, and she's been in a bunch of stuff. Like she was a really big, she was sort of the big name, I guess. She's been in 66 projects. I'm not going to list them all, obviously, but I remember her from Camp Nowhere. She was in Boy Meets World for an episode. She was in she was in she's a TV, you know, TV guest star, you know, for a lot of shows and stuff. And I just remember her from Camp Nowhere being the hot chick in there. I'm into my blondes, so yeah. You know, so you're safe because you've got green and black hair now.
I'm a natural blonde.
What?
I'm a natural blonde though.
I know, but you're safe now. Like
I'm safe now. I covered it up.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was really happy to see her in that. And I thought she did a great job for what she was given, you know?
Right.
I feel like the biggest problem with the movie wasn't the acting or the directing necessarily, was more of the writing.
I agree, because like I was watching it with somebody, and one thing I did mention to them was, you know, like the acting isn't bad, and the actual like filming, the photography and stuff actually isn't bad at all either. It's just that whoever wrote it, I guess because they maybe had limitations because they're going off of something that actually happened. Like the script for me just, I think, could have been better, you know. But other than that, I think it was shot well.
You want to hear an interesting fact I found out?
Yes, I do.
This movie was supposed to be an urban legends movie.
Okay.
You
That's
remember?
the one that had all the little shorts kind of right in it. Like
Well,
the
no,
urban
like,
legend
well,
shorts.
the original Urban Legends movie was like a feature film about a slasher killing people and whatever. Then they
Okay.
did like Urban Legends Final Cut or something, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's what I'm thinking of.
and then they did Urban Legends like the Bloody Mary, and I'm guessing this was supposed to be like the fourth or fifth Urban Legends movie, and I think they saw it and they were like, this should be its own movie, not like, in the same thing, because I guess it's an urban legend, or whatever what this stuff was, but like nobody
I never
really
read
knows.
it now,
Yeah.
but I'm also not involved in like the world of hauntings and ghosts. Like, that's not something I'm really too educated in, just because I'm not really a believer of ghosts. Um,
Well, do you watch
so
Ghost Adventures or Ghost
I don't.
Adventurers?
I don't.
Well, they actually went to this place
Mhm.
four times. So they've been to this place four times, and the first time I don't think they had much activity.
Mhm.
This the third and fourth, they had a lot of activity. So I don't know what happened exactly, but I know, like, I'm like, oh damn, now I kind of want to see those. Like, I
Right.
see
Yeah.
that to me is more interesting. Like, if they
Right.
did a movie where it's a bunch of ghost hunters going around looking for it, and instead of like somebody documenting it or whatever, but
Right.
like just a bunch of ghost hunters going and looking for it and they get killed and attacked and stuff, that might be more fun. But the way they handled it, I think, is just a little boring. And the my favorite part was at the saloon, I guess they were at, little bar, and
Yeah.
they had Roddy Piper there, which really confused me because he was the bartender, but then he was also
He
the
also,
ghost.
yeah, he was also the ghost, and the ghost was a bartender as well, right?
I think so.
So that
So
threw me off because I'm like, okay, so is he supposed to be an ancestor as well, or is he supposed to be
the
the
ghost. That's what
ghost?
I thought.
He's supposed to be a ghost that is taking the form, and he's haunting the place too for some reason,
Well,
So
he did have
I
the
have a lot of
keys to the
questions.
place.
Huh?
He did have the keys to the place.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I had a lot of questions on that part
But he
because then
didn't
he did
seem to want
come
them
back.
there, you know? Right?
And he disappears for like the whole movie till like the end, right?
Sort of to the end. Yeah,
And
but
then but at the end though, like they kind of brought him back up, but then they flash to the guy in the top hat who was the murderer,
mhm.
who's the one who murdered.
George, right? With the
Yeah,
cigar.
yeah, he's the one that. So I'm like, wait, I thought it was weird that they transitioned from his face to the murderer's face. I was like, well, they're not really. I was
Not
like,
the
I
same
expected it,
person.
right. So I was like, I expected him to flash to the other guy's face and be like, oh, it's actually like, he's actually haunting the place too. But there was a lot of questions there.
There was a lot. I think that's a lot of the problem with the movie is maybe there's too many people suggesting things and it just
Right.
got a little confusing.
I'm
Uh
hoping that they filmed like an after movie session where they all got together and explained everything and talked about everything because that's what I need to watch.
right. Maybe. Like, yeah, like I said, like commentary or behind the
Right.
scenes or
Yeah, there needs
documentary.
to be a commentary with this that explains why they went the direction they went and what everything meant. Because I was just a little, like I said, I had whiplash with the story. It was really slow. I almost fell asleep in the middle, and then I paused it and I was like, "How much more of this do I have? Like, this is not making any sense." I'm like, "It's an hour and a half long movie, and it was almost an hour into it." I'm like, "Oh, okay, so it's almost over," but I'm
Uh,
still very confused.
Like, I didn't get it. Like, the two people are just fucking randomly, and
Well, apparently
like,
she's possessed.
I
Like,
guess, but were they? I mean, I guess they were because you saw her face or
right.
whatever.
She got like possessed by the woman, and she's like, "Oh, it wasn't us. It wasn't us. We didn't do this. We had all the sexual tension, but we didn't cheat. It was the ghost inside of us that possessed us to cheat."
My dog ate my homework,
Yeah.
kind of bullshit. But it's also like this scene in later where the dude is just like, I guess he's drunk and he's like laying down on the bed and the
Yeah.
ghost girl walks in. And he's not even
Right.
scared
Yeah, he's
of
like, I don't
her.
fuck those, baby.
Yeah, I don't fuck ghosts. And I'm like, uh, what? Like
Right. I
that
would be
whole
nice to the ghost
conversation.
because obviously if you're mean, you die, and he did.
No. Yeah. I would have been a little scared if I saw a ghost like walking around. Even if I had been drunk at the time, I probably would have been even more scared.
I did think it was interesting though that they made the ghost walking around super sexy, like those silhouettes of her in the nightgown, where you could basically see all like the thigh gap and all the boob and everything like that. Like they didn't show her face a whole lot because, like, I don't know, it wasn't as great as the rest of it, but like they showed her body a lot and very sexualized this ghost.
Well, because she was sort of like she was supposed to be like the maid,
Right.
or whatever. So she was supposed,
She's like the mistress and the help, like the one that he couldn't get his hands off of. But
right.
yeah, they really spiced up this ghost. I'm kind of surprised he turned her down.
Hmm. No, I mean, why not? Right.
Right?
I mean, he already fucked up, with
Right,
the
right.
other thing
You already lost your girl. You're
because
drunk. You're alone.
he wasn't even like, I don't think he felt really like sorry that he
No,
did that stuff,
he was
really.
going around like going F all of you. I don't care. Blah blah blah. Like he was a
Yeah.
douche.
He's
She
a
deserved
douche.
better.
I don't know if she deserved the other guy or not, but she got him. Which like, yeah. So I wish there should have been like more stuff with those two characters that
We're building
showed
that
like
relationship.
building like that they had
Yeah,
already like maybe had like feelings for each other or something.
right.
But I like
Because in my
now
mind,
that
though, like I said, like okay, so your love just cheated on you and got murdered gruesomely, and all of a sudden you're fine now, and you're ready to move on. I'd
right,
be traumatized for a bit first.
exactly.
Or like me and my friend were saying, like, why at the first sight of the first dead body, like when you found the girl's bloody purse, I would have probably called 911 then, just in case. Like I still would have gone and explored, maybe, and try to fix everything. But I don't know, at the first sight of somebody being murdered, I would have called the police so I didn't get blamed for it and be like, somebody was murdered here. Like, please come and help us.
Yeah, or like leave the
Something. Right,
hotel. You don't.
right.
Uh, which I mean, okay. So I was kind of explaining it before, but the hotel was probably abandoned at the time. However,
Right.
it has reopened,
Uh-huh.
so people can stay there at the hotel. It costs $200 a night, which is
Mhm.
actually pretty cheap for like
Right.
staying at a like a touristy haunted hotel, right? I don't know if that's 200 per person or if you could just get two
It's
people and
it's probably per person, but even at that price, that's so affordable where like me and you can go and do a podcast about the movie from the actual hotel. That'd be awesome.
I see. I believe in ghosts, so
See,
I'm like,
I don't. So, but maybe it'll make me a believer. If that would
yeah.
be
Now
kind of
I
fun
feel
though.
like we
That would
gotta
be
go to a
fun though
haunted
if
place
we
just
did
to.
that, because if you have one believer and one not, and you're really testing us, so like to go to one of those places, I think that'd be hilarious to just put body cams on us and see how we react together.
I know because like, well, when I believe in stuff, it make well. Actually, I've been sort of told
Mhm.
never to go anywhere that's haunted for me because I am a true believer. Like I believe.
Right,
I've never seen it, right yet,
right,
but I'm like I'm terrified of it, like,
right.
and
So,
the thing is, ghosts, from what I've understood, from
mhm.
what I've heard different stories on, ghosts actually love people who are like who totally believe and everything because that's an attraction to
Right. So
them.
maybe they'll just leave me alone.
They'll
But
they might leave you alone and attack me, come after me, and I'll be
I,
like, you damn it, go, she doesn't believe in you, you
I
know.
have these friends who started their own ghost hunting show called Ghost Babes, and they're these goth girls. They're burlesque dancers normally, and they have this awesome show where they go around and they just check for ghosts and stuff like that. And they did like Oatsman Bridge and a lot of local stuff here in Texas, but they did the bar that I used to own.
Oh,
And
wow.
because a lot of the employees were saying that a ghost was there, that they felt a presence and that glasses would just jump off the bar.
Mhm.
And I was sitting there one night and I did see this pint glass just fall off. But I can also like justify that with gravity and vibrations and shit like that. So not a big deal to me. But they did investigate, and their results were that there was like two spirits there, and one of them was living in what we had used as our like our booze cellar, you know, the place where we lock up all the booze,
Mhm.
under the stairwell, because the building we had is an old building, like it's old downtown Dallas. It's very old. But they determined that there was a ghost living there in our bar. And all the employees they who stayed there all the time, they believed it, man.
I mean, like I said, it's one of those things. I've never witnessed a ghost. Once again, knock on wood. I don't know, but if I kind of hope I do, because I make these movies, and like Paul does
Mhm.
absolutely does not believe in ghosts.
Ooh, we should invite Paul.
Uh, he would he would probably take every single thing that happened in that hotel, and
Yeah,
he would say,
dissect
"Oh,
it.
gravity.
Me
Oh,
too. Me too,
this
though.
the
So it'll be
science thing,
hilarious.
and everything." And then
Me
it
and
won't.
Paul could just be the cynics poking holes in everything. It'll
I
be
would
funny.
not
We'll
enjoy that, because
put him
I'm
in a
like,
cow onesie and just film the whole thing. It'll be fun.
because I want to like always believe in that. I don't want to be
Yeah,
disbelieved, because
right.
like for me, that's the fun. This is why I like watching ghost movies, and stuff. I watched Malignant. I watched Conjuring. All the stuff James Wan does. I enjoy it. You know,
Well,
it's
good.
not for everybody. Because some people just don't believe in ghosts, but even Paul doesn't believe in ghosts. He likes ghost movies. Mm.
Yeah. I like some of them, but half the time I end up getting really sleepy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did not know this when I picked you. You did not tell me that.
Well,
So
that's okay because you need an opinion from each side.
was that
It's fine though because it's good to have an opinion from each side.
right? Exactly. I like the Siskel and Ebert approach to
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
reviewing.
like I said, I liked the way they filmed the movie. I wish there was more blood and guts in the beginning. Like they really did wait till the end. But like you were telling me, like that special effects and stuff is kind of expensive too. So it wasn't the best special effects. I think the way that they murdered them was a little weird. There was one time where the ghost just stuck her finger in somebody's neck real quick and they just fell. But
Yeah,
overall though, like the murders weren't horrible. It was just really late in the movie.
yeah,
It was a slow burn. It was a slow burn.
sort of. But okay. So I'm not a huge fan on slow burns. And there are some movies that just I get it. Like I get sometimes you're building up to the thing. My biggest problem is when there's not enough character development or interesting stuff going on. So here, I was actually thinking about it when I was watching it, going, there's I forgot what it was called, Witch House. There's a movie called Witch House, and it's directed by David Dakota, and it basically is these people who go to this house that's supposed to be, owned by a dead witch, and the ghost of the dead witch, haunts the place, blah blah blah. Most of the movie is it all takes place in the house, right? So obviously they had this house, they're able to shoot it for like 2 nights, 3 nights, whatever, get a whole shitload of footage out, and make the movie, right? Movie is sort of boring because a lot of it's just talk, but it's like not interesting talk, and you know what I mean? So that's what I think has to happen, is it has to be interesting talk, you know?
Right. Otherwise,
And
use it out.
yeah,
I
and
don't
I
agree.
feel like this movie didn't have enough interesting talk in it of stuff, like I was like, I don't care that this girl is a kleptomaniac. Like
Right.
that
That
shit
didn't
just
really play into the movie like I thought it
right.
would. I thought her being them setting her up to be a klepto and her stealing the ghost's possessions would come back in some way, and it just didn't.
There was like she'd be going and looking for stuff and then she runs into the ghost doing that. Stuff like that, something like that. But there was nothing there. It just was supposed to be an added quirk to her, I guess.
Yeah.
And I just didn't like it. It reminded me of there's a Wrong Turn. I think it was 6 or whatever, and it had a girl who was a kleptomaniac, just always stealing stuff, and her boyfriend was in on it. So her boyfriend was helping her do all that stuff, and then it ended up becoming a problem because they ended up trying to steal something and getting caught somewhere, and all that fun stuff, and that made sense, right?
Yeah.
But this did not make any sense because
I thought it was going to connect in some way, and it just really didn't. And then like when I understand she was doing the whole like, oh, the body possessed me to cheat on you, baby. But then like she gets caught, she runs out, and she grabs her clothes and runs. And first off, she gets her outfit back together on pretty perfect for running out naked.
Right.
But she runs down to where the basement and stuff like that instead of just like leaving. Like that was a little confusing. I'm like, why would you run down there and get
why would you run
lost?
anyway? Because like they don't have a car. She has to stay there anyway.
Why wouldn't you go back to your room or something? Like the fact that she just kind of bolted and then was all of a sudden in her full outfit again with like not missing a beat on that, and then down there just kind of walking around like lost. I was kind of like, why though? Like that's not where like if I was like shaking like, oh, a ghost possessed me to cheat on my boyfriend, that's not what I would have done. But
I don't know. There was so much crap with that. Just it was ridiculous.
But I do feel like, since like you said, you knew the main character from some other stuff, and I just don't, and I don't watch as many of these movies as you. I feel like it maybe grabbed your attention a little more than mine, because you're like, oh, it's this chick and I've seen her do this, and
yeah,
it reminds me
like
of
I
this.
grew up watching her,
Right.
and
Whereas
everything.
like so you're like watching it intently, like I want to see where this goes. Whereas me, I'm like, all right, I don't know that many ghost movies. I don't know this cast. Like my boyfriend was saying, a wrestler. I know wrestlers. So it's like, okay, cool. There's a wrestler in this. But other than that, I was like, I'm just falling asleep now.
Roddy Piper. I mean, he was awesome. Like he was the best part of the movie, honestly. I think if he weren't in the movie, I think I would have hated it, or something, because it just was boring, Joe Bob Briggs is in the movie. I don't know what character he played. It's like Clancy. Who was Clancy?
What's that?
Which one's Clancy? Was he like the old guy at the bar that was deaf? Trying to remember. I don't remember, because
all I know is I almost got stuck watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos of wrestling because he wanted to show me what that guy really does.
Nice. Well, see, that's probably a lot more fun than this movie was,
right?
And that's I'm not saying people shouldn't go see it. If you like ghost movies, go see the film. If you've watched this review, hopefully you've already seen it. Because we pretty much spoiled the movie. But we do that in everything we do. So if you haven't seen it, then and you've somehow gone to this part, sorry. But that's your fault for listening and whatever. So it was one of those things where I wanted to love it a lot more, I think. But I think the biggest problem I had with it was just kind of boring, like you said. There was and there was a lot, and it did catch my attention enough where, because I think it was funny because you had told me that you were bored by it while I was watching it. So I was like, oh crap, it's gonna get boring. And then I was watching it going, I get it, but it didn't bother me. And you're right.
It could also be more boring to somebody who doesn't have the beliefs as somebody who's like, okay, like, I can see like ghosts, interested in the actual ghost part. Whereas me, I'm just like, oh, okay, why did you do that?
I'm always calling bullshit on ghost movies where the ghosts have control over the person's mind and thoughts, like where she's seeing herself in that situation as the maid and everything. Because
Yeah.
I was like, at first, when I saw that at first, I go, why is she there? Is she like a descendant? Like, or, is she like,
Yeah.
is
It's like
she the,
the whole rules of what the ghost powers are a little complicated sometimes, like the fact that, okay, you can possess somebody or you could give somebody a flashback or a memory, or like even the whole thing about the lockets, like, okay, so is this a ghost that can actually, like, you're wanting to give this physical item in this realm to a ghost and who's a spirit? Are you actually, is the ghost actually capable of taking this item because she's a ghost? So those are the questions I usually have is, so what are the stipulations on this ghost like abilities? Like, can she actually take this necklace from you, or is it going to slip through her ghost hands because she's a ghost? It's,
right?
those things
Well, no,
like
no, no,
go
no, no,
over
no,
my
no, no,
brain.
no, because there was because the ghost could touch, and the ghost could, you
Yeah.
know the ghost had like had more abilities than
Well, I
whatever.
mean,
So
she picked the lock it up and put it on, so I guess she was capable.
hmm she could definitely touch. And I don't really know that much about ghosts to the point where I'm like, oh, that's a poltergeist who could do this, or
Right.
that's a
And I don't
you know
either. That's why I had the question. So I was like, okay, so what are the abilities? Like, is this ghost capable of
and what
doing?
kind of ghost is it? Is it a
Right.
spirit? Is it an evil
Right.
spirit? Is a
And then there was they were saying that there was a portal, one of the portals to hell or something like that, or
I
the other world
hated
or
that.
something.
I
Yeah.
hated
They
that
made a portal to the other world down there.
because my question about that is, okay, so why didn't we see more ghosts just pop
Right. If
in?
it's a portal, if it's a door that she's coming in and out of, why is she the only one there?
Right. There should be like a party of ghosts there.
Right?
Well, so that's
Yeah.
I think they used a portal to explain how that ghost came to there or whatever. Like that's
Right.
how whatever, but they don't need that because like
No.
the one thing I always see in ghost movies, generally, not all the time, but what I generally see is if if the person dies at like that hotel, they can haunt that hotel for the rest. They haunt that
Right.
hotel and
Right.
it's
But they don't
generally
need to.
like if you go to like ghost tours, because like I live in Williamsburg, Virginia, and they have Colonial Williamsburg, right? And in Colonial Williamsburg, there are ghost tours, haunted
Right.
ghost tours.
I've
And
actually been on a ghost tour here in Austin. My friend runs one.
right. And generally they're just like historic things. They tell you
Yeah.
that
Oh
the
yeah.
person used to live there.
Old
You don't ever
theaters,
actually
stuff
really
like that. Yeah.
see much. You don't see things flying or whatever. It's not
Right.
like a maze or something.
Yeah. It's usually old historical buildings, movie theaters, opera houses, old doctors' offices.
Old
From way,
houses.
way back then, houses.
Yeah, in Colonial Williamsburg, they have some actual old houses, and you can go up to the houses and hear. I actually kind of want to go at some point. I don't think I've ever gone on one of the tours, but I've never had anybody go with, or whatever.
Gone
Um,
on one here in Austin. My friend Maverick runs it, so it's like I want to support my friends, even though I'm not really big into ghosts. It's like I'm new to Austin. I was like, I want to try this. My friend runs it, so I did it, and it was actually pretty interesting.
yeah,
It's the historical stuff. They even took us to the Capitol building and stuff like that, and told us ghost stories about the Capitol building.
nice. So,
So
and so whatever. People have like these stories. There's these things. This this um this hotel is considered a haunted hotel.
mhm.
So it is very interesting that they film there. Like I said, like I feel like the behind the scenes would be a lot more interesting. Like
Yeah,
the commentary of them saying, we went into this room and it really freaked everybody out because something happened or whatever. Um,
right.
we were shooting The Dark Office, and this is a true thing. So we're shooting the short film The Dark Office with Lydia,
Mhm.
and we were having a scene, and the sound guy, who was recording everything, was like shh, shh, shh. And then he could hear a woman talking. It was low, but he could hear a woman talking
Right.
somewhere. So we went checking everywhere to see if there was somebody that was like still in the building that we were in. Nope.
Hmm.
So we think there might have been he might have caught a ghost, and I think he was recording at the time. So we may have a ghost recording in the thing. So that would be awesome. Um, If we do, we're putting that on the fucking extras, for sure. You
Right.
know, like as a behind the scenes too. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so there's just like so much going on with this, and I I honestly think it was okay. Like it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the greatest. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't. To me, it wasn't boring enough where I would want to stop it if I weren't reviewing it, because I've always said like I pick a movie, and no matter what,
Right.
on the day, if 31 days, even if I don't like it at all, or I'm bored by it, or it's something, we'll still be able to talk about it
Right.
somehow and
I mean,
do it.
I obviously had to finish it because we had to do the podcast on it. But I mean, if it was something that I randomly clicked on and was watching, I
I
probably
would
would
have probably too, even with
have.
Marnette as the lead. I would have.
But a lot of times though, I'll be watching a bad movie, and if I get halfway through it, if there's not that much more left, I'll finish it, even if I don't like it, because I'll be like, you know what? I've made it this far. I'm curious. I want to be able to say I finished it, and even if I still think like it wasn't worth my time at the end, I'll still finish it. So it just
Exactly.
really depends how far into it I'm already invested.
Exactly. Which I agree. I have to kind of get to that thing too. I have to figure that stuff out. So, but
Because like I said, I was really bored and tired, and then I paused it and realized that it was almost over. So it seemed like it was coming really slow, but the movie was actually going by really fast.
there you go. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's a ghost time.
Right?
I don't
And I
know.
was watching it at like 2 something in the morning, and it was the last thing I watched before going to bed. So I was already kind of tired.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I feel you on that. And I watched it in bed, and I'm just gonna warn people, if you hadn't seen it, watching it
Sit
in
up, get
bed,
some
stand up, get some popcorn.
coffee.
Understand there are gonna be slow bits,
Right.
but and that's supposed to be building to something, and it didn't really, all in all, most of the stuff they tried to build to just didn't work out, in our opinion.
Yeah. Well,
But
who knows what all they cut out of the film that like they could have been building up towards, it just didn't make it in editing, and that's another reason why the commentary would, if they do put if this was out, I'd hope there was a commentary in the DVD package, because a deleted scenes and explanations, because I bet you anything there's a lot of scenes that didn't make it that would have explained a lot more.
I'm gonna check and see if it has even a DVD release, because I found this on Tubi. We both
Yeah,
did.
yeah, I saw it on Tubi, but I just assumed that everybody at least puts out a DVD copy, but maybe not.
No, not everybody does.
I guess
Sadly.
if it's a low budget film, you can't always afford to do that.
Well, and I blame distribution companies these days, because a lot of them, you know, um,
It's expensive, and
well,
and
but DVDs shouldn't be that expensive, but
no, they shouldn't.
you know, like it's just also a thing of like, okay, we'll just do that. But yeah, I don't. Okay, it does have a DVD. It's $19, or
Ooh,
$20, so that's not bad. Yeah, that's
I
a
mean,
typical. You could
I mean,
buy.
I'd be kind of mad though if I spent $20 on this movie. In my opinion, like I'd rent it on Amazon for 3-4 bucks, but I would not spend $20 on it.
Well, you're also not a Ghost fan, so it
Still.
it is. What is that? Oh, it's got a Blu-ray for less.
But okay.
It's got a Blu-ray for $9.45.
See, that's better. I would like a
I just
Blu-ray for $10 is reasonable, but a regular DVD for 20 seems a little much, especially because everything now is like Blu-ray.
wow. So people are saying so much potential, so badly done. Waste of money, decent for what it is, kind of neat.
Yeah.
Hotel horror, wonderfully surprised, horrible, ugh,
So did I write
entertaining.
these reviews?
I don't know. I
they're
I
they're they're
just
reading my brain here.
I
But
just
like I
want
said,
to.
it wasn't a horrible movie. I think it was shot very well. I think they did a good job, with uh like I said, the scenery and the wardrobe and the effects weren't that bad for what it was. it was just, to me, the script, the storyline, it just was choppy, didn't make sense, was a little slow. But other than that, it wasn't bad. I wish the score would have been good though. Like the music, I think could have been better. And that may have like helped with the feelings behind the movie. But yeah, I mean, like I wouldn't Rotten Tomato it, you know.
Well,
But,
I was just hoping I would hear like they
right.
had a commentary or something, but it doesn't
Hmm.
list special features at all, which I'm not sure if it has any. This kind of sucks because
Yeah.
this is what I want. Okay, Blu-ray disc features. Doesn't say.
Hmm.
This is pissing me off. Like a lot of these just don't say
Right.
if
Well,
it
you never
has
know.
anything.
Maybe later tonight you can YouTube it, because a lot of times a lot of that stuff will be on YouTube. We like behind the scenes and stuff like that.
Maybe. I
Sure,
just
they just didn't do it, but I'm sure the
well,
extra footage would have helped put a lot together.
yeah, I'll check that out. Maybe send a link on the bottom if there is like special features or whatever. I was
Yeah.
more looking for I want to see the Ghost Adventures stuff too. So if anything, this movie piqued my interest in this hotel, and everything. So basically it did a good job of being an advertisement for the hotel,
Sure.
which I think is pretty cool. I'm sure that's a big reason why they let them film there and make this movie is because, as long as it gets out and people see it, they can, they'll
Right.
know, oh man, we can check out the hotel.
Yeah.
I wanted to know if so I tried calling the lady who owns the hotel because I wanted to know if it was still open because of COVID,
Okay.
stuff. But I did not find that out. She didn't answer and I didn't leave a message because
Which,
I don't know.
I don't know if that means they're not open or,
Well, no,
know.
I mean it had a I would have imagined if they weren't open, there would be a thing on the answer machine saying, hi, I'm blah blah blah. And this is not.
But, if it rang and everything, then they got to
And
be still.
they'll have to, they had a message answer
Okay,
machine for it. So
still in business.
I think they might still be in business, but you gotta check it because I wonder what COVID regulations are to a haunted hotel. Like,
Right?
do you tell the ghost to wear masks? Hey, don't come near me. 6 feet
Right.
apart.
Right, 6 feet apart, ghost. See, and that would be like a very funny skit show idea. Is
That
going
would
to
be
a
like
haunted
Saturday
house
Night
for
Live bit.
COVID with like this 6-foot like ruler going, nope, ghost, you gotta stay 6 feet apart.
Can't come after me.
Right?
I've always thought about that. Like, if some serial killer were after me, I just cough at them and go, I got COVID.
Right.
Would run away.
Right.
So I've like
except for the
there's
serial killers, who are wearing a mask. Like I guess Michael Myers and Jason will be like, yeah, I got a mask on.
Yeah, I don't care. Ah,
Right. Right.
But everybody, Freddy might be like, damn it, stay away. Chucky would have to like run around and try to,
Right.
do like somersaults and shit to try to kill you. I don't know. Anyway, we're talking just gibberish right now. Which is sort of funny, but
It's okay, we need something entertaining since the movie was
I feel bad. Like I really wanted to like this movie. Honestly, like I wanted to like it more. A, because of the ghost stuff, and B, because it sort of came off sort of like, okay, this might look like it's gonna be cute.
Well,
And
it's hard to do when it's based off of a real thing, because sometimes the writing is limited, to the true events and what actually happened and stuff like that. So, like, I get it.
yeah, you have to show that stuff off.
Yeah.
And you have to be entertaining. And you have to have characters that make sense.
Yeah.
And all this shit all in one like package. And I feel like maybe just something got lost in the translation, whatever, but it wasn't my favorite. But it wasn't terrible. Is this a movie I'd watch again? if somebody made me watch it again, like they wanted to see it for the first time or whatever,
again, trying to understand it better.
maybe I would watch
But-
it again if I hear the fucking commentary.
right?
There's commentary. If they don't have commentary on that Blu-ray release, they need to do another, like a special edition, release a commentary track, and let us know, information about that, because that would be pretty cool. Like I would like to hear more.
It's not something I would just throw on. I would either I'd have to be curious enough to watch it again just because I want to figure out what actually is going on with a second perspective, or it would be showing it to somebody. But I don't see me scrolling through and be like, oh yeah, I remember this movie. Let's watch this movie. Maybe if I'm trying to sleep, because help.
I would love to interview the director, and ask him questions about this. Like, so if the director is listening and wants to contact us at indiefilmcafe@gmail.com and let us know if you're interested in an interview. We'll definitely interview you.
Just give me questions.
Yeah, I love that shit. Like I love asking those questions about the films.
Like I said, it wasn't a bad movie. I have questions. I feel like there were things cut out for time or something like that, or just didn't work out that would answer those questions. And then maybe asking somebody who made the movie would help.
Exactly. But who knows? Maybe not. But anyway, thank you so much, Sarah. This is awesome. You're always a pleasure to have on the show. Like no matter what show we do, though we do like so many of them that you forget which one we did. Yeah. The first one that you thought of was I believe was the first Indie Film Cafe.
I think it could have been.
It was the one where you, me, and Tris, where I think we're on it.
I forgot that we did one before I moved, because we did our first one together when I was staying with a friend. So it was right before I moved.
That's true.
And then the one we did with Trish was right when I got into one of my new places. So like that's just how I remembered it. Is I totally forgot that
you're all over the place now. You're like every
two different cities in Texas. I'm all over the place.
Every time we have you on these shows, you're somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
Can you go to Mars on the next one? And then
no, I am going to Vegas here in a couple weeks. Maybe I'll do one from there.
Ooh. Vegas. Remember what happens there doesn't get filmed there, because then.
Well, I mean, it's going to get filmed there and you know where to buy it, but we'll talk about that later.
All right. Well, everybody, on that note,
nice reviewing this movie with everybody.
Yes. And everybody, thank you guys for checking this out. Join us tomorrow for another exciting episode of 31 Days of Indie Horror. And so that we'll be back. Well, I will. Sarah will be back
eventually.
I'm sure you'll be back next year's 31 days, because so far you've been a consistent, person involvement in it. And I adore that. I love that and stuff. But stick around. But everybody else, thank you guys so much for checking this out. Let us know what you guys think, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.